grab a drink, light a candle, and let's bitch.
What happened today is that I woke up much too adventurous because I decided to do a lot of things today and there's not a lot of time in a day. So I woke up and I knew Anthony was going to your house. So I'm doing a lot today. I think I want some Starbucks. So I ordered some Starbucks, went and picked it up, drank it. I don't like coffee. And every time I get coffee, I think it's going to be good and I end up not liking it. But it was pretty good, actually. And I came home and I was like, I need to do some laundry. So I had clothes in the washer, put them in the dryer. And then, you know what? I don't feel like making bread today. So I made the starter for some focaccia. The focaccia that I actually think I talked about it on here. The one with the green chilies and like the cheddar jack cheese and like onions. I'm going to make some of that today. So I had put the starter in there. And then I started folding laundry. I have another set to go in the dryer, but the dryer's like right outside of the room I record in. I don't know if you can hear it, but I don't want to have to try to figure out how to fix that if you can. So I'm not doing that right now. It can sit in the washer for a little while. So, and then I was like, oh, I think I'm going to go try and do that bread. It only had like 10 minutes left. You have to make the starter, let it sit for an hour, and it only had 10 minutes left. So I was like, I'm going to do it. And as soon as I put it in the mixer, you sent me the message. So I was like, I got to mix it for 10 minutes now. I'm beyond the point of no return. So that's why I was like, I need 10 more minutes.
No, you're good. I was just hanging out. I took Mike this morning to go get the trailer. And I was like, I'm not going back into town. So I'm going to, or that part of town. So I'm going to get groceries. So that way it's already done. Because I don't have to pick the baby up from grandma's until like 4 or 5. So I told him, I was like, well, you guys go ahead and do what you're going to do. But when I get home, you're helping me carry the groceries in. And he's like, yeah, of course. I get home and all of them are out back convening like old men in a circle trying to figure out how they're going to do this thing. And I'm like, okay, come help carry. And they're like, we're in the middle of something. Give us a minute. I'm like, okay. So I'm standing there waiting. I'm like, oh. So I looked at Mike and I said, you've got 5 minutes and then you have to help me carry the groceries in because it is not super cold outside. And I plan on recording and I want to do my thing so that way you can do your thing because I don't know what time you're coming home tonight.
Yeah, that's fair. Last night, I told Anthony, I was like, I don't know, I'm kind of in a pizza mood. And I said, I was like, I almost called him when I was at work because there's a pizza place literally on my way home. And I almost called to be like, hey, do you just want me to pick up a pizza for dinner? He ended up working until like 7 o'clock last night. I was like, all right, I'm glad like I didn't get pizza because it would have been 4 hours old. Like your chicken sandwich, I just threw it in the fridge. But I was like, it's going to be like 4 hours old before you even would have gotten to eat it. It's like, I don't know. And he had said, like, he thinks he was going to play some games with guys. He's like, I'm going to run down to the beer distributor. I was like, oh, maybe I'll just come with you. Because I didn't know if we were recording or not. But either way, I wanted a beverage. We go down. And they have some weird, like, I think they're local breweries. But they sell them in 4-packs. But they allow you just to get 1 can if you want. So I had, like, a blueberry pancake sour. It was delicious. It was so good. I'm drinking it. I'm like, this is really good. The most delicious thing I've ever drank. And I don't really like beer, but apparently I like sours. I got another one that's Swedish Fish. It's like blue raspberry and Swedish Fish. And then I wasn't sure if I was going to like either one. So I got a case of like Blake's Triple Berry, but not a case, like a 6-pack. Just want to point that out. But I had opened it and I was like, I don't know. I'm still feeling pizza. And we decided to try a new pizza place. So we got pizza delivered. And we have to get separate pizzas because I don't like cheese. And if you ask for a pizza with half no cheese, they will still put cheese on it because they think it's a mistake. And it's not. So I ate an entire pizza as well last night with my sour while I did some research. I had a great night. It was awesome.
You had texted me and you're like, do you still plan on recording? Because I'm quite intoxicated. I'm literally sitting there. I was looking at the clock and I'm like, if I'm going to record with her, I need to get up and I need to just go do it. And I want to do it, but I'm so exhausted. Mm-hmm. Like girlfriend did not sleep. She did not sleep. Like she's like, it's been so nice for like a week and a half. She's been sleeping through the night.
Oh, that's good.
Like 11 p.m. Like if she does wake up between 7 and midnight, she'll get up maybe once. Mm-hmm. And then after that, she's asleep for the rest of the night. So it has been so nice. But we definitely got our asses handed to us because she She was a terror. Her teeth were hurting her so bad. She was up every like 45 minutes. And if I wasn't holding her, she was screaming bloody murder. So I'm like sitting in the recliner in her nursery and I'm holding her and I'm like, okay, let's go to bed. So I fell asleep with her. So yesterday I was just exhausted. Like I finally got her. Mike's mom came and picked her up around 6. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay, I could take like a 25-minute nap and then I could get on and record with Brandy. And you had texted me that and I'm like, oh my God, the angels are singing. Like I can just go take a bath and eat and go to bed. I think I was asleep by like 8 o'clock.
I stayed up late because I think I did some research for the next episode until like 10, and then I went up and I was watching some TV, but Anthony was like chilling out with the guys, so I like watched a show that he doesn't like. I don't know, I had a good night. I fell asleep on the couch, which is my favorite thing to do.
Okay, I have been waiting for this episode.
You want to do that one?
Yes, because it's torture.
Okay.
You literally put on the tab, this is a surprise, do not look. So I've been wanting to open it for a while now.
All right.
Can I open it? Can I do it? Can I do it? Can I do it?
No, you have to keep it closed. I'm just going to tell you everything.
Okay, fine.
I'm going to read it all to you. You don't get to look.
This is so difficult for me.
Do you have any guesses?
I feel like just based off of like what we've been talking about, like behind the scenes lately, I feel like it's either like something silly and just like deranged that no one would have ever thought of, or it could be like a true crime, like, oh my God type of moment. Those are my 2 guesses.
Okay. Well, I will say you're not right and you're not wrong. I think this one is more silly than true crime.
Okay.
The one I researched yesterday, which you can look at that one if you want.
Okay.
It's not a surprise, but I don't think you know anything about it, and it might be better if you wait. But the one I have for you today, and for everyone today, is a historical event that happened back in 1518, and it is known as the Dancing Plague.
Ooh, okay.
Have you ever heard about this?
No. The only thing I can think of when I hear the words dancing plague is that movie with Kevin Bacon in it.
Footloose?
Yes.
Okay. All right. I love Footloose. It's funny, though. I do like the new Footloose better than the old Footloose. I love Julianne Hough, though.
I love Julianne Hough, and I am not the biggest Kevin Bacon fan. I don't mind him. I prefer him now than I did when he was younger.
That's fair. I think that's justified. So, today we will be discussing the Dancing Plague of 1518, and that is how it's known. That's not me just being like, it was this thing. That is how it's known. So, the Dancing Plague takes place in Strasbourg, which was part of the Holy Roman Empire between the years of 923 and 1682. It was a German-speaking city, and the place where the first European movable type printing press was created by Johannes Gutenberg. I think that's how you say his name. Gutenberg.
Okay.
You guys know who I'm talking about, though, because that's like a well-known fact. In this time period between 1923 and 1682, it was part of the Holy Roman Empire, and it was considered, I think, part of like Germany because it was German-speaking, but eventually it was conquered by King Louis XIV and became part of France. How this came about is in July 14th, 1518, Frau Toffe and her daughter, whose name is hard to pronounce, but it's, I think, Fräulein Emma Gotz, walked into the street and began to dance without any music or sound. She kept dancing for almost a week, non-stop, and by that time, 36 other people had joined in.
Just randomly?
Yeah. They don't know why. Frau Toffe and her daughter went into the street, started dancing. No one knows why. They could not stop. It's not like they didn't want to stop. They wanted to stop and could not stop.
Were they like, they were dancing, but they were like yelling for help at the same time? Or are they like, their minds are gone to where they think they're having a good time? Kind of like, what's that scary Midsommar?
I don't know that.
Where they're all like dancing around the tree or the flower festival thing or whatever. Is she like, are they brainwashed?
Well,
or are they like screaming for help because their feet can't stop?
I will answer those questions, just not right now.
Okay.
Maybe right now. We're going to keep reading. The sources will be listed in the show notes below. There's a lot of them. Actually, there's not a ton of them. I think there's like 3 or 4, but I'll link them in the show notes below. You can go read those sources. It's really interesting. Once again, people are way better storytellers than I am, but Some were so monomaniacally, which means a form of partial insanity conceived as a single psychological obsession in an otherwise sound mind, that only death would have the power to intervene. That is a quote. So,
Okay. Because I'm sitting here and you said almost a week. I'm like, you haven't eaten, you haven't had any water, you haven't slept, you haven't gone to the bathroom.
yep.
Huh. Okay.
So by the next month, 400 people have been struck with the dancing plague.
The next month?
By the next month. So this took place in July, and like a month later, so the middle of September, 400 people had
August.
the dancing plague. Yeah, that's what I meant. I meant August.
That's what you meant.
Whoops.
Jeez. Okay.
So what the fuck was going on? I have some answers. So when this started, the police, and this term police is like used loosely because it was just like city officials, council members, priests, like people of power then, because I don't actually think they had police.
All men.
Yeah. They didn't know what to do. They were like, we don't know what's going on. These people are acting insane. So they were like, call the doctors. We don't know what's going on. What did the doctors say? They gave them a prescription to dance themselves free of it. They blamed it on hot blood and said that they were just gyrating their fevers away.
What?
Yep.
Are they like break dancing? Or are they like slow waltz dancing? Because let's face it, there was no pop and locking back there.
I don't know.
That's insane.
So when that didn't work, because what are they going to do? Gyrate their fevers away? Like, it's not going to help. They're already dancing. The city decided to build a stage. They brought in professional dancers and they hired a band because they thought it would help.
Are you kidding me?
No, I'm dead serious.
Our people are dying because they're dancing themselves to death. Let's get them a stage, folks.
They were like, if they keep dancing, the term hot blood was also like, I think we need to go back, to 923 to 1518 and think about like, there is now a separation between like church, state, religion, government. They're all separate, where church and God and religion was the basis of everything back then. So hot blood was caused by demons. So this was all like, they must have been possessed by demons. That's basically what they were saying.
I'm also wondering if like the medical side of it, like, yeah, that's how they're portraying it and that's how they're perceiving it. But I'm wondering if the medical side of it, hot blood, you think fever.
Yeah. That's how
I'm wondering
I
if like they had severely high fevers.
They might have.
If you get severely high fevers and you're dehydrated, that could cause delirium.
Their idea was, when the doctors were just like, let them go. Just let them keep dancing. The government, police, priests, council members, all the important people who were making decisions back then decided to build the stage, brought in professional dancers, hired the band. And it was kind of like, how Bob Ross is painting and he's like, we're going to beat the devil out of you. And he like does his brush in the bucket. They're like dancing the devil out of them. That was basically what was going on. So
I'm wondering also, like, what year did you say this was?
1518.
So, I mean, this is still really early, but is this like around witchcraft and everything?
Probably. Because I think that happened around like the 1600s. So it's probably like close.
Okay. Because I'm just thinking, you were saying like it's more religious based back then. I saw a bunch of people dancing in the street back then. It would make sense that they're like, witches, witchcraft.
That's true.
Especially if like all of your leaders back then and all of the people in charge were men. How many of the people that are dancing are women and children versus men?
Exactly. Oh, I don't know. That's a good statistic. I should have tried to find that out.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if they would have that information, but so you had asked what it looked like. Well, it looked very sad. This is a silly thing, but these people were literally dancing themselves to death. It was explained as like violent thrashing, spasms, convulsions. People were drenched in sweat. Their eyes were described to be vacant and expressionless. Blood would pool in their feet until they would literally bleed out of their shoes. People would be crying for help, screaming in pain, and begging for mercy while still dancing, and they would have vivid hallucinations. Some of those affected by the dancing plague ended up collapsing from exhaustion. Some died from strokes or heart attacks, and it's estimated that around 15 people per day were killed.
I'm wondering if there was like, if it was poison, like if there was something poisoning in like the water or the bread or something.
We will get into that.
Your face says I'm right. Am I right? I'm a genius.
We will get into that. So eventually in September, public music and dancing ended up being banned, and the remaining dancers.
Footloose. Ha! See, I am so right now. I'm
You
so
were
proud of
right.
myself.
I was like, I can't tell her because she's going to have to find out on her own. So in September, public music and dancing were banned, and the remaining dancers, not the professional dancers that they brought in, but the people who were like, had come down with the dancing plague, were taken to a mountaintop shrine to pray for absolution. And then this is a quote. They wore red shoes that had been sprinkled with holy water and had painted crosses on the tops and soles. They also had to hold small crosses in their hands and had incense in Latin incantations were also part of this ritual. So they would hold incense, they would speak Latin things, they would walk up to this mountain. Eventually, it was spread that they had been forgiven, meaning that the rituals were successful and they had been cured from the dancing plague. So,
sounds like witchcraft to me.
How did this happen? I don't know. I kind of like the answer of witchcraft if I'm... That makes sense. Like, this is interesting and really fun, but witchcraft is really fun.
I'm also wondering how bad the professional dancers felt. Like, you're being hired
really bad.
Because think about it, they're probably not from that town.
No, because basically this whole town was...
You're being hired as a professional dancer to come and perform, and as you're performing, you're watching these people literally shake to death. And that you're told you're getting paid, you're being told that you're performing too, like you need to keep going. That's not comfortable. That's got to be torture.
It probably sucked. How do we think this happened? Well, there was a historian, his name was John Waller, and he wrote, "A Time to Dance, A Time to Die, The Extraordinary Story of the Dancing Plague of 1518, which is a book. I'm sure you can go read it. I didn't go read it, but you probably can. Basically, people believe, I don't know if people believe this or if this is what he came up with, that it was a punishment from Saint Vitus, and he would punish sinners by forcing them to dance. He was a Catholic saint who, in the 16th century, Europeans believed had the power to curse people with a dancing plague. Once again, religion was the basis of everything. They thought these sinners did something so bad that they had to be forced to dance until they died."
I don't know if you can keep this in if you want or not. Okay. I don't care either way. I look at myself as more of a spiritual person than a religious person. I was raised in the church, and then as an adult, I kind of broke away from it and have my own views. But I feel like back then, you hear about stuff like that where you're like, how do you explain this? You can't explain it. Like, this is crazy. This is really weird. It's got to be religious. It's got to be, some saint punishing them, or, however this goes. You don't really hear about that nowadays. Not in that same sense. So I'm kind of like, is this real? Does this really happen? Or did everybody get together and agree on a lie so that way centuries later we can all laugh at them from the grave? You know what I mean? Because let's face it. Okay. Segue. Everybody's laughing about the dude with the Florida man with the dolphins right now.
But do you think it happened? Because part of me thinks it happened. How can you make that up? Literally, how can you make that up?
Okay, but look at it this way. Let's go religious, right? People have no problem believing that what's his name got swallowed by a whale and survived after 3 or 4 days. But you're not going to believe my man went down and helped build a kingdom for dolphins. It's like it's a scale. As a Libra, I try to balance things. It's a scale. Either you believe both or you don't believe both.
I follow this girl, and she does dowsing rods, and I find her videos so interesting. I think her name is Solar Glow Meditations. I'll double check with that. I follow her on Instagram. I'm sure she's on everything. And if I find it, I will repost her video on the Bitching Babes Instagram, and you guys can go and watch it.
Yeah.
But she did a video with her and the dowsing rods talking to the spirits that she talks to. And she was like, hey, did this happen? And it was like, yes. And they were like, is this part true? Yes. Is the fact that the dolphins made an air bubble for him so he could breathe true? Yes. And then she does this thing, and I don't know what's going on, but I think she basically closes her eyes. She can see visions in her head. The spirits will talk to her. And they basically said the dolphins did it as a joke to make fun of the humans. And I think that's hilarious.
I think that's funny. If that's true, that's hilarious. I mean, humans say that dolphins and pigs and dogs are brilliant animals. Like they are very intellectual.
And octopus.
And that they're very smart. And octopuses. Yeah. Octopi, however it is.
You say it.
But they say that they're very smart. So if you want me to believe that they are as smart as you're saying, but they're not that smart, like, come on, you can't have it both ways.
Exactly.
Let's think about it. If dolphins are as brilliant or as almost intellectually as smart as we humans think we are, then why wouldn't they be able to handle or come up with stuff underwater that we wouldn't think of?
We don't know what's underwater.
I'm not saying I believe Florida Man, but I'm not saying it's ridiculous that it didn't happen. I'm just saying once upon a time, we all used to have big imaginations. And then for some reason, all of our imaginations went away. Yep. So there's truth in it. I just don't know how much. I
don't know if I do believe that what happened. I want to believe what happened. And so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to choose to believe because I just find it so interesting. I find it so interesting and funny. And if the fact that the dolphins were making fun of the humans for our intelligence, because why would we believe this guy? I find that even funnier. Honestly, I didn't even look into it until she did like her dowsing rod video. And then I was like, they were making fun of us. I gotta read more.
Oh yeah. It's really good. I don't know the girl that you're talking about. I'll have to go check her out.
Oh, but she's so cool.
I was reading into it a lot whenever it first came up. And I was telling Mike, I'm like, you got to look at this. You got to hear this. And he's like, that's not real. I'm like, I don't know. I feel like if they were going to make fun of someone, that they're going to pick Florida Man. Like,
wasn't there?
That's how it's going to go.
It would be a person from Florida. If you're from Florida, sorry, but also could you leave that in the comments below? Because we'd like to know if someone from Florida was listening. Wasn't there like medical? What am I trying to say? Didn't they do like tests on him and they found something that was like?
Yeah.
What was that?
They did tests on him, on his lungs.
Okay.
And they were saying that his lungs, the trauma that his lungs took was equivalent to like being under, like deep underwater for an extensive amount of time. But that his lungs, although show the characteristics of it, he's still breathing. He's still alive. He's still here. So
that's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
That's insane. Yeah, that makes me believe it a little bit. I love that. I want it to be true. I want these things to be true. It would just make life. Also, speaking of like witchcraft and stuff, have you ever thought about hiring an Etsy witch?
Yes.
I think it would be fun.
I absolutely have.
Have you ever done it?
I've never done it. I will say my sister's more along the lines of like, I think she would do it in a heartbeat, where I'm is more like, not skeptical, but because I do believe in that stuff, I'm more along the lines of like, is Mike going to make fun of me if I do this?
Just don't tell him. That's what I do. If Anthony was going to make fun of me, I just won't tell him. He can't make fun of me if he doesn't know.
True. That is very true. Although there is going to come a time where they just tell us that they don't care and they just listen to our recordings anyway. And they're going to listen to it and realize all the stuff that we say and do.
I was listening to it the other night because we finished our Harry Potter Legos and we were on the last movie. I was waiting for him to come downstairs and I had already started building my Legos. And I was listening to the most recent episode that we had released on there because I also want to listen to try to get our ratings up, because I think that's how it works. Because I listen to other podcasts, like maybe it'll connect. I don't know actually how it works. I could be wasting my time, but I'm not because we are kind of funny sometimes. But I was listening to it and he's like, what are you listening to? And I was like, absolutely nothing. He's like, was that Bricelyn talking? I'm like, yeah. He's like, was that your podcast? I'm like, yeah, but I don't want you to listen. So I'm pausing it. And I finished it, like, at the end of the movie. We went upstairs and I finished it.
I keep going back and forth because Mike's like, I want to hear, but I also don't want to, like, disrespect you if you tell me you don't want me to listen. Mm-hmm. And while I appreciate that, there's a part of me that's like, I want you to listen because I want you to realize how funny we are. But the other part of me is like, I don't want you to listen because I don't want you to make fun of us. We make fun of ourselves enough.
I was editing, I think it was the Alice Network episode. It was whatever one that I messaged you like literally 2 days ago because I just finished it. And there was at one point in time I was in here and I busted out laughing. I was like, that was funny. And that was the first time I had done it because like for you guys, this is the first time you're listening to it. But for us, we already recorded. And then when we go to edit, like I listened to the episodes like 4 or 5 times before like actually releasing. So I kind of like know what's already happening and know what to expect, but it came out of nowhere. I was like, that was funny. I'm like, that was actually really funny. And Anthony was like, what are you doing?
Better.
I'm like laughing at myself.
We're getting better, guys. I think we get better each time.
I think we're more comfortable too, and I think that helps a lot.
Yeah, I went back and listened to our first episode the other day, and I was like, "Oh, we sound like robots."
We were a little. Well, you guys don't know this, but we actually recorded the first episode twice because we thought it would be easier if we just started right away, didn't have a beginning or anything. So we started recording the first episode in the middle of the episode. And then we stopped.
Yeah.
We went back and recorded the beginning. And I had absolutely no idea how to edit. I didn't know what I was doing at all, which is why the editing on the first 3 are absolutely terrible because I had no idea what I was doing. And I had listened to my husband, and I love my husband, but I also don't think he knew what he was talking about. I should have watched a YouTube tutorial first because I have been learning that way, and it's made my life so much easier. But I spent probably like 10 hours doing the first episode. And I think it was also harder because we shouldn't have been sitting how we were sitting because our mics had picked up each other, and I could not line them up. Like there was a lag no matter how I did it. And so that's why the first episode is like real bad. But when I couldn't figure it out, I told Bricelyn, I was like, I think we need to re-record it. And we re-recorded it in separate houses over video chat. And it was so bad, I just scrapped it. I just deleted it. I was like, no, the one when we're in the same room was so much better. I'm like, we just sounded scared. We sounded awkward. Like it was awful. I'm sure there's still some awkward in it, but we're definitely more comfortable. It's much less.
Yeah.
So I do get annoyed with hearing myself talk. I will say that because I'm not used to hearing my own voice and it just sounds gross. I don't like how I enunciate my letters. I've figured that out,
Self-love.
Yeah.
Self-love.
We'll get there eventually. But anyway, so what the fuck was happening? The Catholic Saint Vitus, who was a 16th century Europeans believed had the power to curse people with a dancing plague if they were sinners. So he would punish them and be like, you have to dance. Disease and famine might have caused some stress-induced hysteria. So a mass hysteria was caused by superstition. The superstition was demonic possession.
So let me get this straight. He when they danced to death, did they literally tap out?
I don't know.
Oh, come on. Crickets? Really? That was good. That was like a good
funny.
dad joke.
No, I'm laughing. You just can't hear me over the phone, but you can hear me on the mic. So yeah.
Sorry. I should have more sympathy for them. I'm sorry.
No, that was good. Well, I think it happened so long ago, they're probably okay with it. They've been dead for like 600, 500, 600 years. They've been dead for longer than that. I don't know how long they've been dead for, but it's been a long time. It also could have been like some religious cult stuff going on that one person drank the Kool-Aid, so they all decided to drink the Kool-Aid.
Kool-Aid was poisoned.
There are some more modern theories. The first one is food poisoning.
I should be a doctor. That should be my true calling.
You actually...
Listen, 100% of my knowledge comes from TV and the internet. That is it.
You would make a great doctor. You would make a great pediatrician.
I don't know if I could handle sick kids. Being a mom now, that's a lot.
Not. You're so like kind, caring, and sweet though, where I feel like it would be a really good job for you.
I appreciate that. That's nice. I don't know if I could handle the kids though. That would be a lot.
I couldn't handle the kids.
Yeah.
I also couldn't handle the adults, and that's why I'm not a doctor. I also think everyone is just gross, so I couldn't be a doctor. I could not be around people. It's not for me. Many people might have accidentally succumbed to ergot poisoning. I'm saying that wrong.
Okay.
Might be ergo. I don't know. It's spelled ERGOT, and it is a fungus that grows on damp rye and barley that could have been used in bread making.
Ooh, okay.
So they harvested the damp rye and barley, and there was a fungus on it, but they didn't know there was a fungus. And I did look it up because I was curious if this was still a thing. And it is still a thing. However, you can see it, and they probably didn't know that it was like a fungus and a deadly like sort of substance. So they continued to use it. We know now that's a bad thing. If that happens, you scrap that. You start fresh. Yeah. You know, like it's not going to go into our bread supply now. The poisoning could have caused spasms and hallucinations to those who were poisoned. A funny thing about the fungus, ergot, it is structurally similar to LSD.
Ooh.
So basically, these people were getting high on acid and they were having hallucinations and it literally killed them because they couldn't, their body was convulsing. They were having hallucinations. They couldn't stop moving. And think about it. Bread was all that you ate then.
Oh, that's not a fun way to go.
No.
Oh, that's not good. That's kind of sad.
This-
Not that it wasn't sad before, but like that's sad. Yeah.
You know what else is commonly known for the same poisoning?
What?
The Salem witch trials.
Full circle moment right now.
Did you cheat?
I'm so
Have you
proud.
been reading
I'm so
ahead?
proud of myself. No, I swear to God. I don't even have it up on my screen right now. I have our next episode up on my screen right now.
I believe you.
So I'm so proud of myself right now. I don't know if it's a good, like, if it's like a sixth sense or a third eye, or if I just have a lot of junk knowledge in my brain because all the normal shit's just gone. I don't know, but
Food poisoning of the same type was also, that could be a reason for the Salem witch trials, where people were actually hallucinating things happening and then being like, she's a witch. Or maybe someone had this poisoning, they went out, started convulsing because something was happening to them, and then they got killed for being a witch. So it's very sad. So not only did you have food poisoning, but you died not even because of the food poisoning. So most cases of the plague, I should say this was not the only one that occurred. There are more. This is the most popular because it was the most amount of people.
I mean, I'm sure for the longest time it was probably prevalent because you said that like what they ate the most was wheat. And I mean, if wheat, that's what was getting poisoned.
I don't have an exact number of how many of these happened, but I do have this also had happened in Switzerland, Germany, Holland, and 7 other reported cases during the medieval era. Most of the cases of the plague happened somewhere around the Rhine and Moselle rivers, so it could also be related to water contamination.
Huh.
The way you hit all of these points on the head without even like, you didn't even know what we were talking about at first.
I didn't. I 100% didn't.
You got Salem witch trials, well, witchcraft. You got food poisoning. You got footloose because they banned dancing, and you got water contamination. You hit all the marks without even knowing.
I did not get the LSD though. I kind of wish I'd have gotten that. That one was a doozy.
Did they have drugs back then? Are drugs new?
I feel like drugs have always been a thing, especially that they're base.
You think?
Like nothing like today. Yeah, like I don't think stuff back then was laced, but I'm sure it if you think about it, if they can make alcohol, why wouldn't they be able to find a way to make a drug?
That's true, I
They
guess.
just didn't know. They probably just didn't know what they were making, or they didn't have like a same name for it or something.
7 other cases were reported during the medieval era. One of them was from 1247. So this is actually prior to the dancing plague. There were 200 people who danced on a bridge over the Moselle River in a town in Germany that's like maybe Maastricht, possibly.
These Germans, man. Germany's like, we got LSD. Come on out. Warning, you might die. But hey.
You might die because these people decided to dance on the river until it collapsed because, 200 people on a bridge over the river, it collapsed and it drowned all of them. So that was technically the first case of the dancing plague.
But they didn't die from dancing. They died from
They didn't die from
drowning.
dancing. They probably went way quicker and like more pace, It was probably better for them. This is a silly topic, but also kind of heavy. I hope you enjoyed it.
I did. I'm really impressed with myself. I am. I didn't expect that, but I'm proud of myself for like, I would do really well in one of those escape rooms.
Oh, we should do an escape room.
We should do an escape room. But I feel like something like that, or like, have you seen those new games? They're board games where like, I think you can only play it like so many times, but you actually put it up on your TV and it's a true crime and you try to figure out, like you try to solve the true crime. I think I'd be really good at that.
I think you would be. We should try it. It would be fun.
That would be fun.
So it was silly. I'm not going to say it was true crimey, but there was a little because we really don't know because there's not, all we have is what's been written down. It's not like we can go back and test the bodies to see if there's anything there. It's a little true crimey because we don't really know. It is silly, even though it's sad and silly.
But there's definitely one thing to take away from today's episode. If you meet a dolphin and he wants to take you on a trip, you go. You go.
I would listen to a dolphin.
If you're able to. You wear a GoPro and you record that shit so you have proof.
He should have thought about that. I bet he's regretting it now.
Yeah. I wonder if those dolphins were like, you can't tell anyone. No one will believe you. And then the first thing he does when he hits land is tell everybody. Poor Florida man.
Maybe he'll go back. Maybe they'll make him king of their underwater city.
I don't know
He can
about
just live
king.
there.
Probably more like a pet to them, but still.
That's true. He is probably their pet.
Tell me you wouldn't live out your mermaid dreams.
I would love to be a cat in my next life, I think.
A cat?
Yeah. Sleep all
I don't
day
know.
next to the window.
I was talking to Mike about it because he was asking me, like, A, do I believe in reincarnation? And I don't know. But if it's a thing, he asked me, he's like, would you rather fly or be able to breathe underwater? I think I would pick the ocean. Yeah, I think I 100%. I think if I came back as something, I'd want to be in the ocean, but I'd want to be like, I don't know what I'd want to be because there's always something bigger and I don't want to get eaten. So
I want to be something that hasn't been discovered by humans yet. That's what I would want to be. You can't tell me we know everything that's in the ocean.
Oh, hell no. Hell no.
Yeah.
I firmly believe that mermaids are a thing. I don't think
so
they look
too.
like the little mermaids sitting on rocks playing with their hair, but I firmly believe that.
I think they're feral. I think they're more feral than singing with the crabs underwater.
Yes. Yeah.
I would like to know all of that. I want to know if aliens are real. I want to know what's in the ocean. I want to know about ghosts. If I could just have all of that information, I would love it.
I told Mike, I made the joke on our wedding day. Part of our vows was like, instead of saying till death do us part, we're going to say like forever and always. And I made the joke to him whenever we were getting toast done. I was like, you know how we said that? He's like, yeah. I said, if I die first, which is going to happen because I can't live without him. So I'm like, when I die first, I was like, I am 100% coming back and haunting your ass. I will find a way.
Oh, absolutely.
I said, I know what scares you. So I will come back. I will haunt you.
Think about it. If he does die first and doesn't come back to haunt you, wouldn't you be a little upset about that? Like, I'm for sure coming to haunt Anthony. Yeah.
I'd be like, wait, you'd rather have peace than be with me haunting me for like a little bit longer that I'm going to live and then we can go together? Like, no, come on, bro. You don't need to be without me. You can handle it. You're fine.
If Anthony died first and didn't come back and haunt me, I would think that ghosts weren't real after that. Like, that would be the deciding factor. Be like, he didn't try to come back and mess with me, which he always does. So I know he would. Ghosts are real. That's all I'm saying. I think we want to go back and haunt people,
Yes. I think we'd have fun. We can have a ghost podcast.
That would be fun.
That would be fun. We'll call it like From the Graveside.
The bitching babes
from the grave. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I like that.
That'd be good.
So like reincarnation, here's what I think about. And this is a little sad. So do you want to hear it or do you not want to hear it?
I'll listen, but if I cry, you have to console me because hormones are real right now.
I might not put it in there. I'll decide. But like, think about reincarnation. So my grandpa died in 2018. And what if he gets like tired of waiting and wants to come back before I die? Like, and gets reincarnated. Am I never going to see him again? Like, that's what I think about, Or is there still like a grandpa up there and then another grandpa that comes back?
That's a good point. That really is.
That's what I want to know. Like, does reincarnation, if he decides to get reincarnated before I die, because at least I hope it's going to be a long time.
My OBGYN doctor, because whenever you go in, they ask you about your history and everything. And I was explaining how I'd lost one. And she was telling me it was really beautiful. But at the same time, like, now that I think about it, I'm like, oh, is that reincarnation? I don't know. But she was saying, like, if you have pets and like your pets act more human than animal, you feel that bond to them and like you call them your baby and like you treat them like they're human children. It's because they are the reincarnation of the babies you lost.
Aww.
And I was like, that's very sweet. It really is. But have you met my dog? I'm like, he is not the brightest tool in the shed. And I'm like, I don't know if that's a compliment or Molly, 100%. Like my dog, I firmly believe it. I don't know if I believe it's that, but I believe that like she thinks she's a human. She's an actual baby. Like she's a child. But Champa, my man, he just, I pray for him some days because of how he acts. I'm like, man, you have the attitude only I could love.
I read something one time. I don't have dogs, I have cats, but I read something where an adult cat has the same mental capacity as a 2-year-old. So that's what I think about all the time when my cats do something that kind of make me mad, they're only 2 years old, Brandy. I get that you've had them for 4 years and they know better, but they are only 2 years old. And like, that's what I keep telling myself. And I think it does help. I listened to another podcast. I should go back and try to find the episode and I'll share it with you. But they had brought a psychic on to talk about one of their pets. And it said that they had lived like many lives together is what. And like sometimes she was the pet and sometimes her dog was the human and sometimes they switched. And at one point in time, like one of them was a horse. I can't remember which one was the horse. And I was like, that's interesting. I'm like, that's very interesting. But she's like, I've always had this weird connection with my dog where as soon as I met my dog, I knew that like it was supposed to be my dog. Insane. I don't know if it's true, but I like to think that it is.
This pregnancy, I have a lot of like, not pregnancy rage, but like everything that the dogs do wrong just irritates me to like my mass extent. And
do you think it's because you're growing testosterone?
Yes, I firmly do. I firmly believe it's because it's a boy.
I didn't know if that was like a real thing, but it sounds good in my head.
Oof. Mike has to keep reminding me. He's like, don't be mad at the dogs. They don't even remember that they did that like hours ago. Like you can't keep a grudge. And I'm like, I'm trying not to. But at the same time, I feel like a whale and I have a 10-month-old running around and I'm trying to keep my shit together. And they just decided that they were going to mark their territory on the wall today. And that's not okay. Yeah. And they know better than that. So there are times where like I have to remind myself and he has to remind me like, don't be mad at the dog. It's fine. But then in my head, I'm like, if you are a child reincarnated or you are anybody reincarnated, why do you think it's okay to pee on my wall?
Yeah,
exactly. And he's like, stop it. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I 100% believe in it. I think it's interesting. It's cool. It's definitely something
a cool thing to think about.
Yeah. Yeah. And if it is real, I want to know all about it. But I don't know. We'll see.
Speaking, can I ask you a pregnancy question real quick?
Yeah.
Do you have any dreams about your child that you're carrying?
Uh-huh.
Did you have any dreams before you found out it was a boy? And did you think it was a boy or did you think it was a girl?
It's really weird. When I was pregnant with my daughter, because we didn't know until Mike couldn't handle it anymore. So we found out like 3 weeks before I delivered. But the entire time that I was pregnant, he was like, it's a girl. I'm like, I don't know. All my symptoms, like everybody says that these are symptoms that are similar with a boy. I really think I'm having a boy. I don't think I'm going to be, because I always wanted a girl. And I never thought that I would get that. I always thought I'd be a boy mom.
Yeah.
And then when I had her, I was like, oh, how do I be a girl mom? I wasn't planning on that. What do I do now? But with him, this pregnancy, it's polar opposite. Everything is polar opposite. But with her, like I didn't have the nightmares with her. I had like the anxiety of being a first time mom. So that played through in my dreams. But with him, I'm having like every night it's like night terrors. And like
that sucks.
It's so, yeah, it's not great. Like it's so vivid and it's bad and it's just, I can't get out of the dream. But here's the thing, like after I wake up, 90% of the time I'm fine. It doesn't linger because the dreams are so silly that like looking at it through clear eyes, it's like, why was that scaring you? But when you're in the dream, you can't help it. But yeah, I had a dream when, I don't know if I ever told this on the podcast, you can keep it on, but when I found out I was pregnant, we were getting ready for bed.
Second time?
No, this time with him. The first time I found out I was pregnant was because I just thought I was sick and I went to the doctor and was like, something isn't right. I don't know what's going on. We had tried for 5 years to get pregnant. We had gone through infertility. Like I was coming around to the mournful idea that it just was not going to happen. So when I went and got checked at the Med Express or whatever, they were like, oh, you don't have an infection. You're pregnant. And I literally laughed at the doctor and I was like, yeah, okay. She's like, no, really, you're pregnant. I made her show me the test. I made her explain it to me. I'm like, you're lying. I bawled my eyes out for like 20 minutes in the doctor's office. She's like, are you okay? Is this a good thing? I'm like, no, this is a great thing. And then I freaked out because I'm like, how early am I? Because I can't go telling everybody until I'm further along.
Yeah.
Which it didn't last because the second I told Mike, he was so excited. He told everybody.
That is true. He did.
He did. He told everybody. But this time when I got pregnant, I was doing bath routine with our daughter because it was bedtime. And I had been feeling sick. And I was like, I felt like this was pregnant. Like, I can't be pregnant again. Like, not right away. There's no way. It's way too soon. I'm still learning to be a mom. She's only a couple months old. Like, she's a baby. There's no way. And Mike had come and gotten her, and he was like, I'll go get her, like, dressed for bed. I'll make the bottle, you know, come in when you're done with your bath. And I'm like, okay. Well, of course, the second he left the room, I locked the door and took a pregnancy test. And I'm crying in the bathroom. And he unlocks the door and comes in. He's like, are you okay? What's going on? Like, are you hurt? What's the matter? Because I was postpartum. I was still going through, like,
Yeah.
They're only going to be, when he's born, they're only going to be 13 months apart, instantly, back to back. And I showed it to him, and he's like, are you serious? I'm like, yeah, I'm that says pregnant, like right there, right in front of you. And he's like, that's okay. It's great. This is a good thing. I'm like, is it a good thing? So, like, I'm freaking out. It took me a good couple weeks to, like, calm down and be like, it's okay. It's a blessing. But the second I got pregnant, I was like, it's a boy. I didn't even need the test. I'm like, it's a boy. And he's like, how do you know? It could be another girl. I'm like, even if the fact that this is a completely different pregnancy, I'm having completely different symptoms. The second I got pregnant, I think it wasn't that night, but I'm sure it was really close to that night. One of the first dreams I had was it was a boy.
That's
so I'm
cool.
like,
Yeah.
And with her, even though I thought it was a boy with her, all my dreams were of a little girl, which is another reason why I was like, it's not going to be a girl. I'm not going to get a girl because I want it too bad. There's no way. And the fact that once we found out that she was a girl, I looked at him and I was like, I'm not crazy. All those dreams were real. And he's like, yeah, okay. Because he doesn't believe in that stuff. So he's like, sure.
There was this one time I had a dream, and it's spooky to me. It was spooky to me then, and it's spooky to me now, because my sister-in-law was pregnant with my nephew, and I had a dream that we were both pregnant at the same time, and we were outside at a party, and we were under a big white tent, and there was a little red-headed boy there running around who was my nephew. And I was like, that's weird. That is so weird. And I woke up and I've never forgot that dream. I was like, because I know we were both pregnant, and I know that looking back, I didn't know who that boy was, but, like, that was my nephew. And my sister-in-law just had another baby. I am not pregnant, by the way, but, like, that's all I think about. But I don't really, like, I don't know that we're going to have kids. Like, I don't know if it's for us. I feel like we were talking about it last night, and I'm like, it sucks because we waited so long to get married. We're like, we want to be married for a little bit before we have kids, but my biological clock is ticking. So it's one of those, like, if we want kids, we have to start now. And, like, we just don't know if that life is for us, you know? But I always think about that dream, the dream where my sister-in-law were pregnant.
We were talking about it the other day because we were counting the weeks, and I told him, I was like, I'm good for this baby shower. I don't think we're going to have, like, God forbid anything were to happen between now and then. But I was counting the weeks, and my 34 weeks which is when I had her, is the day after her birthday party.
Are you serious?
So I told Mike, I was like, I don't know what to do. He's like, if you go into labor, we will cancel her party and reschedule it. It's fine. Yeah. And I was like, because I told him I can't miss that. I'm like, I cannot miss her first birthday because I'm delivering her brother. Like, that's not okay.
I know that first birthdays are important, but she's not going to remember whether it's actually on her first birthday or if it's 6 months after her first birthday.
Yeah. Like, we can't even do her first birthday on her birthday because of things going on. But I told him, I was like, okay, that's fine. But I was like, I don't want to be the person that's preparing for such an early delivery because of what happened with her. So I have my next follow-up coming up, and I already talked to the doctor and was like, what do I need to do? What can I do to ward off the dangers of what I went through with her? Because the delivery wasn't bad. I mean, it wasn't great. Like, I was zonked out of it from all the meds that they had me on, but delivering that itself was not bad at all. We were stuck in the hospital for 2+ weeks, and I had nobody to talk to. I was on my own. I had this sick baby who wasn't sick, but they were treating her like she was sick because of how early she was. So, like, it was just it was a bad experience with a good outcome. So, like, I don't regret it because it got me her, and she's healthy, and we're both happy and healthy. But at the same time, I don't want to go through that again.
She just needed to stay in there a little longer, and you don't want to have to.
Yeah. He just needs to chill. He needs to stay in there, and he needs to be happy. And yeah, so I already told Mike, I was like, hopefully, like I said, we have a goal. We have a number that's our goal, and if we can get to that, we're golden. So
Exactly.
that's what we're working with. But they did tell me at my last appointment, they're like, we don't recommend you having another one for a couple years. And I'm like, yeah. Like, we don't plan on having another one if we have another one for several years. Like, this was not meant to be back-to-back pregnancies, but like,
that's just what happened.
Mike talked it into the universe and it happened. So
he did. This is kind of all his fault.
it's all his fault. I told him, I said, you have a sixth sense. It's weird. I'm like, you talk things into the universe and then they happen. Random shit. He kept saying when I first got pregnant, he's like, I really hope it's twins. I really hope it's twins. And I'm like, I am not having twins. Do not wish that. Well, then when we found out it was one baby, he's like, well, we'll just have to have an Irish twin. I'm like, no, we're not doing that. Lo and behold.
He did do it. Oh.
Yep. Lo and behold, they are going to be 13 months apart.
I am scared to have twins since Anthony has twin sisters and twin aunts. So I think twin aunts, there's twins somewhere else in there, but I'm a little scared.
Yeah.
I think this is all we have for you today. Don't dance yourselves to death before you want to come back for next week's episode. And before you come back for next week, be sure to follow us on wherever you listen to your podcasts, like and leave a comment. Thank you so much.
And if you're a dolphin out there and you're listening to our podcast underwater, I would love to come and meet you.
All right, guys, we will see you next time. Goodbye.
Bye.
Thank you for tuning in to the Bitching Babes. To share your stories with us, please send us an email to tellthebabes@gmail.com. Now, this is your friendly reminder to blow out your candle and hydrate responsibly. We'll see you next time. What happens was they harvested the rye and broccoli. No, the rye and broccoli, the rye and barley, and that's going to be our blooper for the next one.